So, I mean, we watched what happened in the markets yesterday, and it was expected, but it was pretty steep, and nobody likes to look at their 401k. The Dow down almost 4%, S&P and NASDAQ down, and we'll see where it goes today. But I think the one thing that could reverse the trend is when these countries, if the president accepts their call and their offer, because he also wants the revenue, if these countries come in and say, we're zeroing out our tariffs, we're going to match you with our tariffs. For example, I'm a little confused that Vietnam came in 2 days ago and they said, we'll zero out our tariffs, but the president still slammed them, and we do a lot of textile work there. And then Israel said, we'll zero out our tariffs, and the president still hit them. So I don't know if that's a clerical thing, or is we have to go with the trade representative and work that into the budget. But what's amazing to me, guys, is that Nancy Pelosi sounds like Donald Trump today. Our great staff got this fantastic clip from 1996, because this has been a concern for years, from Donald Trump when he was just a businessman, from certain lawmakers, a lot of Democrats, that our free trade agreements that were going to hurt the worker. And guys like Ross Perot in 1992 said it. But listen to Pelosi, different hairstyle, same woman, and by the way, original hips, 1996, June 27th.
That we know of.
In terms of tariffs, I think it's interesting to note that the average U.S. MFN tariff on Chinese goods coming into the United States is 2%, whereas the average Chinese MFN tariff on U.S. goods going into China is 35%. Is that reciprocal? In terms of jobs, this is the biggest and cruelest hoax of all. Not only do we not have market access, not only do they have prohibitive tariffs, not only are our exports not let in very specifically, but China benefits with at least 10 million jobs from U.S.-China trade. China trade supports 170,000 jobs in the United States, 170,000 jobs, whereas our imports from China support 10 million jobs at least. The fact is that U.S.-China trade is a job loser.
I just find this incredible, Ainsley and Brian. They give speeches all the time, but the passion that she speaks when she's talking about this issue, I mean, I was 4 at the time when she gave this speech. What changed? Has she evolved on the issue, or does she not like the person that is now supporting essentially everything that she just said in that clip?
Yeah, I know. Several things are going through my mind when you watch that clip. But you were 4. I just finished my freshman year of college. And she sounds like Donald Trump now. That's how far their party has gone. It's either that or they just hate Donald Trump so much they're melting down. They haven't even given this a minute. This all just happened. So we've got to take a breath. The markets will calm down next week. We knew the markets were going to be volatile because of all this uncertainty. It's always been that way. And so Secretary Brooke Rollins says there will be a short term of uncertainty, and then we'll move back to the prosperity that the president's envisioned. Donald Trump says we're already getting chips. We're already getting steel factories coming in. GM, the car company, is ramping up production in the United States, increasing their U.S. truck production by hiring temporary employees at the Fort Wayne, Indiana assembly plant. But you have these Democrats that are melting down. They are now planning to force a vote to kill these tariffs, which they probably don't have the votes to do. And then when it comes to TikTok, that's a big deal. This weekend is the deadline. So Donald Trump is saying, if China wants to negotiate on tariffs, do a deal on TikTok, and maybe I'll consider it. Listen.
For instance, with TikTok as an example, we have the situation with TikTok where China will probably say, we'll approve a deal, but will you do something on the tariff? The tariffs give us great power to negotiate. Always have. I've used them very well in the first administration, as you saw, but now we're taking it to a whole new level because it's a worldwide situation. And it's very exciting to see.
Is that something that you floated to them or you've heard from them? Or
I'm just using that as an example. Let's say we had a problem with TikTok, and let's say China wasn't going to approve. We could use tariffs in order to get it approved. You know,
The deadline is
have something in return.
Brian?
So a couple of things. Number one, when it comes to TikTok, we're going to talk about that later. but the sale has got to be complete. They can't have any sign of the algorithm because it's a national security interest. I don't care about the money. They're not going to want to sell because this is all about espionage, in my view. But the president's saying, I'm going to use leverage when I can. And if I want something done, whether it's Russia, whether it's whether it's something in the Middle East, if Jordan wants a break or whatever it is, if they could do something on Gaza, I will use all levers of power. And I think it's true. Also, General Motors came out and said, we'll be making operational adjustments to Fort Wayne, as you guys mentioned. Ford has already said they're making adjustments, people coming home. He mentioned that Oracle is going to do the TikTok deal. They'll be at the hub of it. And word from Charles Gasparino with the TikTok deal, they don't believe Amazon should be a part of it. They got so many products from China there, and it might be a little bit difficult to sign off on. But J.D. Vance was sitting down with you, Lawrence, and here's what he said about the deal that could come down today.
We've been working very hard, me and the president, the entire team, to really accomplish two things. First of all, you want to make sure that the TikTok app in the United States is not spying on people.
Right.
That's good for national security. You also want to give people access to this incredible platform, which, as we know, that's where a lot of young people get their news. That's where a lot of young people found out about the policies of the Trump administration. And we got to accomplish both of those things. I think that we're in a good place. We're going to keep on working at it, but I'll let the president make that announcement.
If it doesn't come out before the deadline, because I know the president extended.
It'll come out before the deadline.
It will come out.
We had a couple days to continue working on it, to finalize some things. And of course, we're going to let the president announce whatever we ultimately decide.
Right. I just quick thing. We want that deal to come, but it's mainly a security thing. And we also have to put something out there that stops China from launching another app or anybody, North Korea, that becomes popular again. But the only thing I want to add is Trump's doing everything at once. Keep an eye on the big, beautiful bill making its way through the Senate.
That's right.
These are all, normally it's bill, 6 months off, trade deal, 6 months off. Trump's doing everything at once. So when the bill comes through with making the tax cuts permanent and it gets to the House, they work it out later in the spring, that's going to be a boon to the market. So I'm not Stuart Varney or Larry Kudlow, but don't overreact to today and tomorrow or yesterday. Focus on the value of these companies because nothing has really changed, guys.
Well, the deadline is tomorrow. So it sounds like J.D. Vance says it's going to happen before the deadline, which means today. So maybe we'll hear something about this. We'll continue to watch this. But is there any way that you think he could push the deadline farther down the road like he's done in the past?
He could, but as I asked J.D. Vance yesterday, what's going to happen if they don't get the deal? He was adamant that the president is going to get the deal before the deadline. So we'll see. That's in a couple days.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.